Well, folks, it appears that I am live, but it also appears that no one is joining me. Well, that's unfortunate. I want some people to show up. I want some people time uh, with people. Where are you? Apparently, we are alone in the world. Or I am alone. So, this is All Things Trapp. My name is Samuel Trapp, and we had some people claiming they were going to come along, but so far, well, it looks like there's David. David has shown up, but I can't see him.
Who
I
else
don't know
is
what
here?
he's doing. David, I
Nobody
can't
else?
hear you. Hello?
Why not?
Hello, hello. Why can't I hear you?
Can you hear me
Uh,
now?
Maybe the sound is off? How about now?
Mine's on. Can
There
you
you
hear me
go.
now?
I can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Must have been me.
So it's just me and you?
Apparently so. But I can only see the
Oh,
top of
God.
your. Why is only the top of your
I
head
know,
showing?
because I'm laying down. Hold on.
I'm in bed too. I climbed in bed because I'm old. And
I climbed in bed because I'm sore.
well, you tried to get yourself killed here, and we'll have to talk about that. We have two people
Well,
watching. There's people watching us, so hopefully they'll read the ticker on the bottom and join in, because they're supposed to be joining us in.
yeah.
And all they have to do is type that ticker symbol www or https streamyard.com and that BCNUP2EEA8 and you can also join. So please do, and you'll be paying attention to us. See, I was watching a movie. I was watching one of the Avengers. I think I told you, David, that I was trying to. There are like 34 Avenger movies, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch them all, except for the stupid ones with um, there's with the cartoon characters. I don't really like them, or the animals. I don't understand
Oh,
those.
yeah. Galaxy of the Show or something like that.
Yeah,
Show. Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy is what it
Oh,
is.
yeah, there you go.
That
I
one I
think
didn't
that's the only
particularly
one
care
I've
for.
ever seen.
Oh, so you don't watch the Hulk or Thor or anything like that?
No, I have no interest in any of those.
I don't know. I was looking for something different, and
Uh,
because I always watch the same old movies.
if I want
And so
fantasy, I'll go to the Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter.
if I want fantasy, I'll stay in real life. That's
Yeah, that's a
comical.
fantasy too.
Yeah, really. And so there you have it. Well,
So I went and
I
looked for.
say something.
Where'd you go?
Now where'd you go?
Oh, I went and looked for the that living well van, and I found two living wells, and one of them had a van that was similar to the one, but there was none that had living well painted on the side. So I don't know what to think.
So you got nothing. You have no defendant.
Pretty much, unless the cops find him. I mean, I'm still looking. I only went to those two places, so
So
we'll see.
for those of you who are wondering what happened to David, he got hit by a van on his bicycle the other day, and well, yesterday, and now
Yeah.
he's in a great deal of pain. Dave, you know what your shirt reminds me of? It's a different color, but your shirt reminds me of Charlie Brown. Are you wearing a Charlie Brown shirt? If you had just all orange, and now your
Soccer.
phone's not working. Well, David, you know what? To this weekend or this Saturday here, we've asked some people to join, and we're only going to give 15 minutes for people to join because the whole point is to get other traps on with us telling
Yeah.
stories. Now, it worked. It worked last week, but I also can't send. Something's going on with messages on my phone, and I've even restarted it. It says there's something wrong with the network. How is that when
Oh,
I have Wi-Fi and it says I couldn't send the message? That makes no
that's
sense at
weird.
all.
I
I
told all
wonder if I
four of
can
my
send
boys,
it.
but,
I'm
the
sorry.
younger generation. I told all four of my boys to join.
Yeah,
They're
you
the
still
younger
can tell your kids
generation.
what to do.
Oh yeah, like they don't really listen. Notice they're not on here.
Well, that's what I was. That's what I was saying. You can tell your children. I can't.
Yeah,
Uh,
no,
you know.
because they don't listen anyway. But
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I
yeah,
can send it to just one person. Maybe I can send it to just one guy. Maybe you. Let's see.
is there anybody watching now?
Yeah, yeah, we have people watching us, but we don't have people joining in. And I want to know why not. They should all be
Yeah.
joining in and hearing us. So let's start telling an old story. Okay, let's.
All right.
Uh,
Which one?
um, well, why don't you tell that story about when you got hit by the car? Tell me all about, or not hit by a car, when you went camping up at wherever it was, Deer Creek Reservoir or whatever it was, and with your buddies, and they had a car crash on the way back or something. Or you
Oh,
know what? You could tell about how you hitchhiked across the country when you were 16 all by your lonesome. Come on.
well, and I did that for a long time. I was out, as you well know, I was gone all the time.
You know why people picked
So,
you up? I know why they picked you up. It's because you're this little tiny
because I was
thing
cute.
wandering the street all by yourself, and they thought you were like a little lost puppy. And so people would pick
Yeah.
you up and take you around. You think? Or did
Yeah,
you
the
have
very
long
first
hair?
night.
Did they think you were a hippie trying to avoid the war?
Oh, oh, I definitely had long hair. It was past my shoulders. The In fact, when I went in the Marine Corps, they just laughed because they take hold of your hair, and it takes them like five razors upside the head, and it's all gone. And you look in the mirror, and
I
you're like,
did it, David.
"Oh,
I did it too. People,
so you know."
oh, they just that hair's gone. They do like 100 guys, the 100 guys an hour, and they just
Yeah,
each guy
and you're
100
just
guys an
in a
hour.
great
Zip,
big
zip, zip.
line.
You're done.
Yep.
No hair.
And then they give you those. I don't know if you had these, but and with bad eyesight, they gave me these black owl glasses to make me
I had
look.
them too. Yeah, and you couldn't wear contact. They wouldn't let you wear
Oh
contact lenses if you had them, or if they
nope.
found out, they'd get very mad about it. You know what those
Yeah.
glasses are called, David?
I don't know, but I know I look like an idiot.
There's an army technical term. They're
Okay.
called BCGs.
You see, geez, why?
BCGs, birth
Yeah.
control glasses. Because
Yeah,
if
that's
you're ever
right.
wearing them and you're out trying to pick up women, there ain't no way you're ever getting one pregnant.
Yeah. She ain't letting you
So they call
close.
them, that's your birth control device is your glasses because nobody'd touch you wearing them glasses. So
That's true.
there you
Did
go.
they? That was back. That was way back in the day. But did they give you in boot camp? Did they give you saltpeter?
Well, they didn't need it for me. I mean, they did. They gave it to the. So there were guys that had problems, that are one that it's like they put it in your food allegedly, but I don't
Well,
know. Allegedly, they put saltpeter in your food to keep you from
yep,
getting a boner if you're wandering
yep,
around in army train. What kind of training you doing? Army training, sir.
yeah.
I
Well,
loved I loved basic training because in basic training, I was laughing all the time, and they were always
me too.
they were coming in, and then there were guys that were running around scared, and they were just running and crazy, and they were very very scared, and I never understood that because it was just all you had to
Yeah.
do was do what you were told, and laugh at them. It's like that's
Oh yeah.
about it. They tell you to, well, Trap. There was this old black sergeant major, and he was so funny. He'd come up to me and he'd go, "Hero, get on down there. Get on down there. You push that world away from you. You push that world away from you till I'm tired. You push that world,
Yeah,
and so you're yes, drill sergeant. You know, and I'm doing pumping, and if you, as long as you did stuff like that and didn't let it destroy you, well, then you didn't have to
yeah,
worry about
everybody
it.
was
But
funny.
there were other people that really struggled through it because you
We
know
had
they
guys that went AWOL. That, and
yeah
when you're in the Marine Corps, you're in South Carolina and you're on Paris Island, and
yeah. Where are you
they would
gonna
tell,
go? You can't run away from
yeah,
there. I forgot that's why
that
they put you
they,
Marines there.
oh yeah, they put us on an island. And then they told us there's alligators out there, there's riptides out there. You try to get off this island, we don't really care because you're dead. You know, I just laughed. I remember one time they took us out to the firing range, and those of us that had never fired, they told us, "You're the perfect people to teach because we can teach you the right way to shoot."
That's
And
right.
so I was like, "Yeah, that's great," because I wanted to learn how to shoot. You know, the first thing they tell you when you get off that bus at Paris Island, the green bus at 2 o'clock in the morning, and these great big, huge guys are throwing a metal garbage can down the middle of the bus, going, "You blankety blank, blank, blankety blank, 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 get off this blankety blank." I'm like, 2 o'clock in the morning. So they tell you you're going to be a professional killer. That's what Marines do. And I was like, what in the world? How did I get in here? And so they took us out to the rifle range, and they're teaching us how to shoot. And you know, the I have made mistakes in my life once in a great while, but the
I'm still waiting.
sergeant came up to me. The sergeant came up to me and going, "Trap, I can't believe you. You have your safety off." I'm looking at him like, ah, shit.
Hmm.
So there were like six of us that got caught with our safety off, and he made us go sit in South Carolina. There's sand gnats, sand fleas, and they
Oh, I hate
climb
them.
all over you when you're in the
Yep.
sand and you can't move. So you're holding your rifle out and outside, out in front of you. That 8-pound rifle gets pretty tiring after 5 minutes. And he's like, all of you there. They finally let us put our rifles down. So I kind of put mine in my lap, put my legs in a yoga position, and started put my fingers on the rifle, and then started humming. And all three of them, "Trap, what are you doing now?" I'm like, "Yoga, sir." He calls the other two guys over, and he's pointing. They're all standing there just, they can't believe I'm doing yoga in the middle of boot camp. But you're right. All you had to do was laugh, because
Yep.
some of the stuff they were telling me, like, there's nobody that actually believes this crap is there,
Well,
you know.
it was
Mm,
decent training as far as making you uh, be a be a person like together. Oh, we have some comments. That you know what I should have said something. Andrew's there. Um, Angie Miller. I don't know who that is. My grandparents lived across from all of us. I believe y'all had already flown the coop on Columbus Road in Fowler, Illinois. Susan and I were joined at the hip. Well, I lived in the Fowler house. I did live there in the Fowler house for like the last year. I went. We moved to. Can you read comments, David, on your computer? If
I
you turn
I don't
comments on,
see
you
them.
should be able to read them. And
Yeah, I don't see
but I
them.
lived at the Fowler house for a little while, and I moved there in the middle of my senior year, and then went to Quincy University for like the first year, and then a year and a half, and then I moved to Colorado for a little bit and joined the army. And so but Andrew's on there reading. Andrew, get on the if you're watching, jump on the channel, and you're a trap. Jump on there and say something.
Mm.
Anybody is welcome that can put in the address
I
there,
lo-
I will add them to the stage. We can add up to 10 people. So we did get some commentary in our posting the things, and that's a plus. And I would love for people to join in and watch with us. And I will put the I will invite people again and put that in the comments, and then people can. Are you seeing the comments, David, or no? If you hit on the side where it says under the stream, you can put those banners and private chat, and then comments. You can just click on the comments line, and you'll see them all when
yeah,
people
Chris
are
just
putting their
asked me
comments.
how he joins.
Well, it's the stream is on the bottom. The address is on the bottom of the screen. You'll see it. You see
Yep.
it, yes?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Matt, Mark, Vicky, Russ, and Callista. Russ was a year older than me, Angie. Russ was a year older than me, and I lived there too. Oh, there's Chris. Should we have somebody join? He doesn't have his photo on. Chris, where's your camera? Turn your camera on. Don't you want to join us? Um,
He
you
just
are.
wants to listen.
Oh, well, he can see commentary on there, and
Cool.
yeah, so that's good. And you're we only see your head. I'm laying in bed. I don't know. I was tired, and so I figured to get there. Mom said she was going to be on here and jump in and say something, but then she said her internet might not be working because they're moving, or she's moving. Her house is done or something, and she's
Uh,
relocating, and so
yeah.
that's working. Today I had some things to do, but I wanted to continue on with the basic training, and then you got to get back to your hitchhiking across country. So I remember the story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I remember of your story from Utah,
Oh,
and then
okay.
it continued while I was in Colorado, because Colorado is where we moved when I was in fifth grade from Utah to Colorado, and you were older than me, of course, and you had been in trouble, and then you decided to stay in Utah, and then there were some things that went on. You came over and were in Colorado for a little bit, and then you joined the Marines, and but before that, I remember Mom running around the house and Dad. They were all worried about you, because the way I found out about it was from what I remember, and again, I was only in fifth grade, and so um, yeah, I went by Sam. Well, Sam, Samuel. I can be Sam. That's fine. But anyway, I remember the story, David, and the way I remember finding out about it is Mom carrying on like Mom always did. She was always running around the
Right.
house yelling at somebody about something, and those were pretty fun times, because somebody was always in trouble for something. With 12 people, you everybody. There's always one person that's uh, out of line,
So,
and I had more than my share of that. That's for sure. And apparently you did too, because Mom was running around the house saying that, "Oh my! Oh no! They caught David. Hey, David is it? Oh my Lord! David is it? David is at Grandma's house. David is it? She's at Grandma's, and that kid went all the way across the country. How did he get across the country?" And she was. I remember, Mom. We had that A-frame crazy house in Colorado, and she
oh,
was
yeah.
running around just. I mean, on and on about, "Oh no, David, and I don't know. Oh my Lord, I can't believe what he's done." And with that kid, he's gonna be the death of me, and on like that. And so I'm trying to figure out what went on, because it was always entertaining to find out if somebody else was in trouble, because as long as it wasn't me, this was a good thing. And
Oh, yeah.
so it was your turn, and I remember her on the phone with Granny and doing something on the telephone with Granny. But why don't you tell the story? Because you lived it. You actually did it. What happened?
Well, initially, the mom and dad kept telling me, if you don't want to live by our rules, and me being me said, okay, I will. And so I always had a job because we never had any money. So I always had, I had to go work, and, I was too greedy not to be working. So one night after I got done, I was working two jobs, going to school when I went, and working two jobs. I took my paycheck from both jobs because they both paid me that day. Went and cashed them, walked out on the freeway out there in Salt Lake, stuck my thumb out, and got a ride. And my very first ride was to Evanston, Wyoming. Now, it was probably May or June, early summer. I don't
How
remember
old were you?
exactly, but 16. Yeah,
Yeah.
15 or 16, something like that. And that night I slept out in the cold. And you would think that it would be warm in the springtime, but if you're in the mountains, yeah, no, it's cold.
Not if
So
you're in Wyoming.
yeah, up in the mountains it
Wyoming
was
is not
freezing.
warm.
Yeah, I know. I froze my butt off. But the next morning there was a Kmart there, and probably the only store in Evanston at that time. And I went in, bought a sleeping bag and some type of sweater or something, walked out on the freeway, got another ride all the way to Lincoln, Nebraska, and stayed there for, I met a girl. Well, of course, met a girl. And, she was kind of neat because she had six sisters. And she was like, "Oh, you need to come live with us for a while. Mom and dad are gone." You got to remember, this was the early 70s, so things
Where'd
were
mom and dad
still,
go?
I had no idea. There were these seven girls all living in this great big house. And I think mom came home while I was there. And dad, I don't think I ever met dad. But boy, I sure had fun with those girls. And, they, first night there, they took me in the bathtub and said, "Okay, you got to clean yourself up and we're here. We'll help you." Oh, okay.
David,
So,
that's a terrible
yeah,
story.
yeah, well, whatever.
Oh,
Anyway,
David,
I stuck
you're a
around.
bad
I stuck,
person.
I stuck around for a while. Had to pretty much, but then I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back further east, and got out on the road again. Went back and got to grandma's, and they were having a fit. Man,
I
where have you
remember that.
been?
Yeah,
You know,
that's
and
the part I
so
remember.
that's when they called mom and said, "Hey, David's here," and they wanted me. Here's what they did. They bought me a plane ticket back to Salt Lake. And the only problem with that is I didn't want to go back to Salt Lake. I wasn't done. And so the plane stopped in Chicago, and so did I, So I got off that plane, went back to Nebraska, and met up with Jenna again, because that was her name, and stayed there for a little bit longer, and then hitchhiked to Boston. I don't know why I went to Boston, but what?
Hey, how come I have two Chris's on the stage? Why is that?
That sounded like Liam.
Well, I have two Chris's. Oh, there's one. Hold on. Am I adding you to the stage or no? I will add him to the stage. How about that? Chris is
Is he
on
there?
the stage, but there's no face
Oh,
there. He apparently doesn't want to turn his camera on. You can say something. Your microphone is on.
you
Hello,
talking to
Dave. I think
Christopher?
your internet is 50-50, David. Oh, there's a photo. There's a picture, but nobody's on it. You have to point. Oh, gone. Hung up.
Who was it? What,
I don't know.
Chris?
Said Chris, but Chris is who signed in, and so
Oh,
uh, there you go. But maybe we're not going to get anybody else. We've been gabbing for a half an hour, and nobody's joining us. But a couple of people are watching. I thought somebody was going to join in. Ginny said she was going to, but I didn't remind anybody because oh, that worked. It got sent to you. How come it won't get sent to everybody else? That's nuts.
I don't know, but that's how I joined.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't
So,
understand why it won't let me send this message to all the. It just it keeps saying that, but it let me send it to one person at a time.
oh,
That is
great.
weird. Yeah, well, I can't do
Okay,
that.
so I switched from chat over to comments, and then when I went back to chat, now it's not showing me the pictures. I can't see any pictures
Well, get
anymore.
out of private chat. Go to comments.
I went to comment there.
I see, and now you can see the comment. But you're only on your phone, right? I'm on
Right.
my computer. I'm on my computer, so
Oh,
I can see on the computer. I see the screen, and then on the right hand side, there's the commentary that is sitting there. Well, we got to tell some more stories, David. We can't just talk about practical things. Tell what else. Keep going. What happened after Chicago?
well, went down to Nebraska, went back down to Lincoln for a bit, stayed there for probably 6 months, and then left. Went to hitchhiked to Boston, saw a lot of things, did met a lot of people that way. But when I got to Boston, I worked for a soap company, and it was really weird because there's a guy in a van, and there was like 8 of us young, all of us, pretty much kids off the street, and we would go into businesses and try to sell try to sell soap. And you know me, I mean, I'm used to be a pretty good salesperson, even when I was 16. And I would take this condensed soap and walk into these businesses and go, "Hi, I am David, and I have some soap here that will clean your entire office or building or warehouse. And it's only $66 for a gallon." And I
$66
actually sold
for a
some.
gallon of soap in the
Yeah.
70s?
Well, well, it was an, what do you call it? Extract or whatever. You'd use just a tiny bit in the water. But these people, I think the only reason why they bought was because I looked so ragtag.
Little,
So the, I was tiny. I was only like 5'4"
that
and
I remember.
120 pounds.
Mm.
And I'd walk in and everybody, "Oh, look at this cute little boy." And I'd be like, I'd have my little salesman grin on. "Hi." I couldn't believe it. People
How
would
much did
actually
you
buy
weigh when
stuff.
you entered the military? Well, how much do you weigh when you went
One,
into the
one,
military?
120. They
When you
told me
went
I couldn't
in,
do it. I was 120,
how tall are you,
5'5"
David?
and 120.
You're
Now
five
I'm
five.
5'8".
You
I'm
are
not
not.
5'5" now.
You aren't five
I'm not
eight.
5'5".
You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
5'8".
Well, close. Well, I'm
No,
pretty
you're
close.
not, David. You are not close to 5'8". I'm 5'9", and you aren't close. You're a good 4 inches shorter than me, at least.
No way. I'm not 5'5". I haven't
Well, you're not.
shrunk.
I
When I
know you're
got out,
shorter than 5'5".
when I got out of the Marine Corps, I was 5'7" and 165.
Oh, you weren't. You didn't grow in the. You didn't grow taller in the Marines.
Oh yeah, I did. I
No,
was
you
tiny when I went
did.
in.
In basic training,
Yeah,
you
you
grew
weren't there.
taller. No, you didn't.
Oh yeah, no, I grew taller over the 4 years
Uh,
that I
maybe, but
was
I
there.
doubt it.
Not over boot camp.
When I joined the military, I was the same height I am right now, and
Wow.
I weighed 132 pounds. I was just a scrawny little guy. When I got out
Yeah.
of basic training, which was 8.5 weeks later, I weighed 185, and
Put on
I
a lot.
gained I gained a lot of weight, and
Yeah.
I was and now I weigh um, actually, I had to go lose 6 pounds because I could only weigh the most I could weigh in the military was 179 at my height. And then the rules would always change, and you'd go up and you'd go down. And right now I weigh 192, so I'm fat, and that's no good. But
Well,
got to do something about that maybe at some point.
that's
Well,
what
I guess
happens
we're
when
not
you
getting any family members to join us along. David, you're only showing the top of your head. Why is that?
do.
Oh,
I'm
there
about
you
ready to go to sleep anyway because I had to take a couple of pain pills for that for that wreck. I had some guy came by tonight. I told you the lady that runs this entire community. Anytime somebody moves out, she's like, "Do you want this, this, and this?" And I always take it because I need stuff for more than just this house. And some guy pulls up with a leather sectional couch in a trailer, and there's like 8 pieces. And he said, "Do you want this?" I said, "Yeah, but I can't lift any of that stuff." I said, "Both of my hands are still sore from getting run into yesterday." And they said, "That's okay." It was him and his wife. They said, "That's okay. We'll put it in." They
They
put it
put it
in
in your
my garage.
garage or in the house? How
Yeah,
where is it?
no, it's in the garage.
Oh, well,
So I have this big leather sectional, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need it in March anyway because all the boys are gonna be coming, for 5 or 6 months. So
hmm,
that what I got yesterday. I got a dinette set with 6 chairs. I got 2 beds in there. Probably gonna need about three more though. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna have to buy anything else,
Well, good for
you
you.
know. Yeah, I know. I'm like, and the guy tried to pay me from Canada today. Did you know that Canada? He was trying to use Intertech. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't heard of Intertech.
Well, it's a way of sending money all over Canada for free, and so he was having a hard time paying with his credit card on the website. And he says, "I'm going to use Intertech." Well, come to find out, Intertech doesn't work in the United States. So he sent me all this money and I can't accept it. So I told him,
Well,
yeah, just send it to me on Monday.
I accept credit cards, so if you need some help with that, I can take a card
Well,
and then give you the
I
money.
have, I mean, he could pay with the credit card on my website, and but he said he was having a hard time doing it, so
Hmm.
I don't know, but
Well,
we'll see.
there you go.
But if nobody's listening,
No, there's
you
some
know,
people listening, but we're not getting any further people to join, and that's a bother because we want people to join. Now,
yeah,
I'll tell. Let's see. I'll tell a story. What do you want to hear about me? Um, so I quit school when I was in the middle of my senior year, and it was pretty funny because I went to high school in Minnesota, and so I was
yeah,
from seventh grade until 12th grade. Senior year, we lived in Minnesota, and then in the middle of my senior year, we moved to Illinois. And to make it go down a little better, do you remember? Dad used to travel a lot. He was going back and forth to Illinois from Minnesota because he worked there for a bit, and then he would take the kids. And so one time I went with him, and it happened to be the year that the St. Louis Cardinals went to the World Series,
uh,
and they went against the Milwaukee Brewers, and it was we got tickets to game 4, and game 4 got rained out, or whichever one got rained out. We had tickets. Dad had tickets, and then the replacement tickets came up, and we were already back in Minnesota. We didn't get
uh,
a go. so,
well,
but
who
we
did he
we
say? He
what?
took somebody to. see Pete Rose's hit that broke the record.
Oh, I don't remember that. I remember when we were kids going to be on the field of the Cincinnati Reds and running around with
Well,
them, and I had all these. I had signed pictures that I got signed myself by the people on there. I think it was Uncle Don took us there, and
yeah,
with Dad, and took us to Cincinnati during Big Red Machine time. You know how much these things would be worth now? And so
yeah,
I had all these pictures that were signed, and my favorite one, I always liked George Foster, and but my
I,
favorite one was Dave Concepcion because he was born the same day as me, June
I,
17th, and he was a second baseman. And everybody, and I had signed pictures. And they signed them all. Dave Concepcion, Pete Rose,
yeah,
Perez. I had Perez. I had Johnny Bench. I had everybody. Uh, Joe Morgan. I had all of those guys, and I had all their signatures. Well, guess what happened to the pictures?
they got burnt up in the fire.
Nope.
Oh, what?
Mark colored on them all with a magic marker. Mark colored on them all with magic marker, and that was the end of that. And so Mark colored on my pictures. It'd probably be worth a fortune right now. So you know, Pete Rose, he didn't he die recently? He died this year, yeah.
Yeah, he died like 3, 4 months ago.
Yeah, wasn't that long ago? And you know, I never thought that the gambling. Now everybody is doing what he
Yeah,
allegedly did. You know, gambling against his own team. Everybody did it, and they used him as an example in those dark times to make sure that
yeah,
nobody else did it. And I'm not saying it's right, but who gives a rip if people want to gamble now? If you're gambling and throwing a game so that
yeah, that's different.
you that's different,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was ever alleged that he did that. You know,
Okay, so I got one a lot like that, in that I had something valuable. When I was 12 years old, living in Utah in Midvale, and Jenny, of course, the first girl in the family, spoiled rotten, got everything she wanted. So if she's one of the ones listening, yes, you were spoiled rotten, Jenny. The and I had a paper route, and so me and old ladies, I tell you, they even back then the old ladies really loved me. There was a lady there on
they
my
probably
route.
still do, David. They probably still
Oh,
do.
thank you. I still have friends that are. I have lunch once a week with this lady that's 85, and I let her talk the entire time and just sit and listen. But Mrs. Millerberg lived
I remember
alone.
her. I remember her.
Nobody, yeah, nobody liked her. Everybody thought she was mean. Man, every day on my paper route, I would stop, especially, and give her a paper, and she'd take me into the house, give me cookies, give me candy,
She
sit
was
and
always
talk to
nice
me.
to me. She was nice to me
Yeah.
too. I remember her.
Well, and they had a contest. And in the contest, you had to sell 50 new subscriptions to the newspaper within a 3 month period. Well, at the end of the 3 month period, I had 48. And, I told her, I said, man, I can't believe I missed it by two. She called the Deseret News, whoever was in charge, and said, he is the best paperboy I've ever had. And if he doesn't get to go, I'll take away my subscription and everybody I know. And so I won a trip to California with like
Wow.
20 other, little 12-year-olds. Man, that was so great. They gave us $3 per meal for going to Disney World, going to Mexico, and all on this bus. And they took us all down there. $3 per meal. I was in heaven. I was like, man, I can't believe they're giving us $3 a meal. So I'd spend like $1 of it and keep the other two. But when I got back, and again, these old people would give me tips, And Mrs. Milliberg had given me a couple of silver dollars from 1886. And I came back and, I was putting stuff away. And you know how crowded the house was? I mean, you could put something down and be lost
Oh
forever.
yeah, it was gone.
I couldn't find my silver dollars. And I was frantic. I knew those things were going to be worth something at some point. And come to find out, Ginny had taken them, gone up to Safeway, and bought herself some coloring books.
I remember that.
Oh man! And so,
I remember you and mom trying to go back and get them,
oh yeah, and the guy, no,
and the guy,
no.
they disappeared, of course.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, I
but
did something like that. I took somebody's $2 bill.
oh
Um,
yeah.
I think I took somebody's $2 bill and went and spent it on candy bars or something. And
Well,
it,
here's the kicker. Do you know that was back when I was like 12, and Ginny was, she's what, 6 years younger than me, 5 years younger than me, so she had to be 6 or 7. And about 5 years ago, she called me, and because I was going out to Utah to host a summer soccer camp, and she said, "When you're out here, I have a surprise for you." I was like, "Okay." So I went and saw her when I was out there, and she handed me two silver dollars, 1886, and
wow.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, how do you even remember this?" And she said, "Oh yeah." She said, "I've had this guilt with me for my whole life." I'm like, "Jimmy, uh, uh, I don't even know what to say." I was like, "Thank you." I said, "I had forgot all about these a long time ago." And she said, "Yeah, but I didn't." I was like, "Wow." It's so cool. And I still have them. So haven't
Well, I
been.
got a money story. I for years and years and years collected money, and I bought every. I had 10, 12 rolls of every single state quarter, brand new from the mint. I got them from the mint in Denver. I got it from the mint in Philadelphia and the mint in San Francisco. All three mints. San Francisco is where they print the silver ones, and
Yeah.
or they mint the silver ones. And I had every single one. I collected them all. I got every year, every set automatically come, billed to my credit card, paid a lot of money for these things. In my office, I had this big old safe, and the safe was full of all of these coins, tons of them.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to move, and I can't believe I did this, freaking idiot. And I had this safe full of coins, and I called the guy, and I was trying to get rid of stuff in my life. I had too much crap in my life, and
Right.
I was like, I really don't have time for this anymore. I used to sit and watch them all and value them all and tally them all up and see how much they were worth and blah blah blah, but they were worth a fortune. And I had tons of old money. I used to go to auctions and buy them and do all these things. Over the years, I probably spent at least 30, 40,000 on all these things, a lot of money.
Yeah.
And um, I said, well, and I used to go to these auctions in Missouri at this place out in the middle of nowhere, but everybody would go to these huge auctions. They'd have once a month this great big auction, and I that's where I bought a lot of these coins, or I would go and buy a whole series of them, and then
Right.
so I was going to get rid of them. I called the auction house, and I was like, "Look, if I bring a safe full of coins, you know." You have auctions, how about it? Oh, yeah, yeah. We charge you, I can't remember, 17, 18% they charge you
Right.
of what they get for your coins. And I'm sitting there going, well, I know the value is really high on all these coins that I have. And they took all my coins, and I went out there. I was wandering around looking at all the other auctions because it was an enormous building. And I
Right.
came over there and to the place where the coins were. Nobody was there. There were two guys buying all of my coins, just two guys. And one would bid and then the other one would bid. And then they would each let each other have something. They bought my entire collection for nothing. And the
Wow.
whole thing in total, I got like 18,000 for those coins. And
Wow.
then I had to pay whatever it was, the percentage, and I lost my ass on that thing, and I was so bummed because there was some real money in there. I actually stopped the auction and chewed them out. I was like, "You got to be kidding me! You got two guys here, and you're going to go ahead and sell these? You should have found me and said something. You knew I was here. Well, we knew you wanted to sell them. Okay, I didn't want to give them away. You know."
Yeah.
Oh, I
Right.
was so mad, and it didn't do me any good. But
No.
well, David, we're gonna end the stream, and I appreciate you coming on. Looks like we're alone. We'll have to try it again some other time, and hopefully we can get people watching and get people to join in. But maybe they'll pay attention to us later. So I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well,
And
let's do. I'm gonna call into your show sometime this next week. So.
okay, yeah. If anybody's watching to this point, I'm on damradio.com. They have an app you can download and listen to. I've been telling this week the story of my bar issues and the I like that, David, and the corrupt Missouri bar that we all know about, in the corrupt state of Missouri. And so I'm telling that story, and I'm at damradio.com at 4 p.m. Central Time. David's already asleep. David yawns and
Almost.
then he just falls asleep right there. All right, David, that's the end. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Yep. Bye bye.
See you.